I'm remarrying this woman.
3 days after our divorce, my ex-husband with his new fiancée ambushed me at my parents' house to announce it. He probably wanted to see my frustrated face. Proudly, my ex-husband said,
As you can see, she's incredibly beautiful, kind and calm, and her father is a company president, so she's the daughter of a distinguished family. She's the best wife ever.
I didn't care about his new partner, but I was curious about the woman who showed up at my former in-laws. Our eyes met perfectly when I looked at her. Surprised to recognize her face, I froze for a moment, then burst into laughter. I'm Eileen, a 40-year-old IT professional. Tyler, my husband, is also 40. Tyler and I have been close since high school. In our senior year, we were in the same class. Tyler was cheerful and a bit of a show-off, always involved in school festivals and sports days. He was also the soccer team captain, popular among everyone. I, on the other hand, was not one for events, preferring books, a complete opposite of Tyler. Yet we ended up at the same university, even in the same department. He approached me.
You're Eileen, right? Same university. Do you live nearby? Which department? Made any friends?
Overwhelmed, I, who had no male friends, fell silent. Even so, Tyler did not stop talking to me, so gradually I was able to converse with him, and before I knew it, we had broken the ice. Tyler has always been a bit clueless. For instance, he said,
I've been scouted. I'm thinking of joining this agency.
But when I checked his business card, the agency seemed suspicious. When I questioned him, he said,
It's fine, but they're asking for a $5,000 membership fee, and I'm struggling with the money.
He was nearly scammed. Serious by nature, I couldn't leave him alone. He soon said,
I can't live without responsible Eileen.
Realizing I couldn't leave him either, we began dating. When we started dating, I began to think he was cute, as he had more motivation than anyone else. But he was somewhat flighty. Perhaps I was tickled by his maternal instincts. We graduated together, got different jobs, and our contrasting temperaments led to a smooth relationship, and eventually, marriage. We were happy. He worked hard and helped around the house. Then, exciting news arrived. I was pregnant. Hoping he'd become more dependable, I was disappointed. He said,
Is dinner ready?
I'm feeling sick. Maybe takeout?
Takeout? Just wait till you feel better and then cook.
He showed no concern for me. Pregnant. As I grew larger, he often made tactless comments.
You've really gotten fat, huh? Like a sumo wrestler.
Irritated yet cautious for a child, I took breaks at my parents' house to avoid stress. I managed through pregnancy and gave birth to a girl. We named her Tammy. First-time parenting was hard, but I was very happy to spend time with my daughter and my husband. A year later, after returning to work post-maternity leave, balancing work and childcare was overwhelming. After discussing with Tyler and colleagues, I switched to part-time work. This change led to even more responsibility from Tyler.
Isn't the bath ready yet?
Why can't you prepare the bath yourself?
Come on, you're working part-time now, right? You must have some free time, huh?
While I was preparing dinner, my daughter suddenly started crying. I said, Hey, Tyler, I can't leave the stove right now. Can you check on Tammy? Maybe change her diaper? But he responded,
No way. I absolutely can't change diapers. The smell is unbearable.
Those days of solo parenting were tough, but I had gotten used to it, and before I knew it, 8 years had passed. Now, Tammy was 8, and as she needed less attention, I was planning to focus more on my career. But suddenly, Tyler announced,
I'm quitting my job.
What? Just as our daughter is growing up and I'm about to get back into work, you say this out of the blue?
I want to aim for something bigger. I can't stand being just an average office worker,
he declared. Tyler sometimes acted so bizarrely, it shocked everyone around. I privately referred to these as his episodes. When he said he was quitting his job, I thought it was just another of his strange episodes and watched to see what would happen. But his eagerness to change jobs didn't wane. Eventually, without consulting me, he said,
I found a new job, so I quit the old one. I start at the new company in 2 days.
I was ready to stop him, if it was another dubious venture, but the company seemed legitimate, so I felt relieved. However, his episodes escalated after joining the new company.
Now, the president of this company is in his 30s, young. I'll take his position someday,
He boasted.
I will be a president. Respect me.
He demanded. My daughter and I were just dumbfounded by his behavior. It would have been better if it had stopped there, but his actions and attitudes worsened.
You know, you've really aged. The girls at the office are all young and cute.
Huh? You've aged too, right? Everyone gets older, it's natural.
Yeah, but you could at least try to dress more stylishly. Look at this woman. She has 2 kids and still looks stunning.
He showed me a photo of a popular Instagrammer. How am I supposed to compare with that? I take care of myself, even after having a child and turning 40. He dumps all the housework and childcare on me and then goes on about young and cute girls. It's infuriating. Amidst this, he started working late and seldom came home on time. You've been coming home late recently.
Is that so? I'm just on my usual schedule.
No, he's definitely coming home later than usual. And strangely, it's always past 10 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays. Why are you always late on Tuesdays and Fridays? Confronted, Tyler suddenly spoke quickly.
It's the project. There are meetings only on Tuesdays and Fridays. What, you doubt me?
He sounded defensive and agitated. I see, I replied, and he seemed relieved. Suspicious. It's always been like this. Whenever he lies or feels guilty, he talks fast and gets angry. His behavior is transparent. With that in mind, I took immediate action. I first checked his smartphone while he was in the bath. I knew his password. He always sets 1111 for everything, saying it means I'm number 1. Such foolishness is so like him. I tried 1111 and the phone unlocked. Just as I thought. I found evidence of infidelity in his phone. Messages like, I'm free this Friday. Can't wait to see you. Is it okay with your wife? She's dumb. Won't notice. Totally fine. Filled his WhatsApp chats. In his camera folder, there were many intimate photos with another woman who seemed to be a junior colleague at his company. My hands shook with anger as I transferred all the evidence to my phone. Armed with ample proof, I finally confronted Tyler with divorce. At first, he was extremely unsettled and kept denying it, but when I showed him the evidence, he turned pale and couldn't find any excuses.
I'm sorry. Please. Anything but divorce.
You wanted to divorce me. That's why you were cold and cheated, right?
No, it's not like that. It was just a moment of weakness. I don't want to be apart from you or Tammy. Please.
Despite my hatred and inability to forgive him, I couldn't decide on divorce considering our 8-year-old daughter. In the end, I demanded $7,000 in damages from his mistress, payable in a lump sum, and stipulated that he cut all ties with her as conditions to hold off on the divorce. The woman promptly paid the full amount. Perhaps embarrassed by the affair, Tyler resigned from the company. For about half a year, he seemed genuinely remorseful, but after a year, he reverted to insulting me as before. The betrayal and continuous verbal abuse from Tyler had extinguished any feelings I had for him. However, we didn't divorce because of our precious daughter, who Tyler also seemed to care for. Despite my numerous attempts to discuss divorce, Tyler always refused, but then, a week ago, he brought it up.
Let's get a divorce.
What?
I've made up my mind. Let's divorce.
You've always refused to divorce, so why now? I wasn't opposed to divorce. I was genuinely puzzled. I thought it was the best for both of us, but Tyler had always refused, and there were many opportunities before, so why now?
It's your fault. Ever since I cheated, you've changed. You never forgave me, and I'm tired of it.
He blamed me for the divorce. True, I never forgave him since that day, but it wasn't just the affair that I couldn't forgive. I indeed haven't forgiven you for the affair, but it's not just that. You've continued to insult me ever since. That's what I'm angry about.
No. When I say harsh things, it's for your own good. As a woman, you have to take care of the house and maintain your beauty. You've been neglecting that, so I was just pointing it out. That's why we're divorcing. It's not my fault."
From his response, I realized he still didn't think he was at fault. His views on gender roles were intolerable. I repeatedly told him he shared the blame, but he wouldn't listen. Finally, he said,
"The cause isn't me. Understand? So no division of property. Remember that."
"Okay, I see your point." Tyler seemed desperate to divorce on his terms, insisting it was my fault. His behavior was strange. I instantly suspected another affair. He's really easy to understand. Again, he began to talk fast and show irritation. Previously, I would have pressed to find out why he suddenly wanted a divorce, but now I have no interest in him. "Okay, I understand. Let's divorce. As you say, no need for property division, but I won't give up custody of our daughter."
"Fine. That's okay."
I was profoundly disappointed, considering how much he claimed to care for our daughter. Soon after, we proceeded with the divorce and finalized it without issue. I took my daughter and moved back with my parents. My daughter wasn't opposed to the divorce and wanted to stay with me, saying, "Dad's hardly ever home, and he says horrible things to Mom. I think it's okay for our part. I want Mom to be happy." Her kind words were comforting. I was planning to start a new life with my daughter and my parents, but just 3 days after the divorce, an unexpected incident occurred. One day after work, I arrived home to see Tyler and a woman with long black hair in front of the house. She was wearing a deep hat, making it hard to see her face. I had a bad feeling about this. I wanted to ignore them, but they were in front of my parents' house, so I couldn't just leave it be. As I approached them, Tyler came over with a smirk. "What do you want?" I cautiously asked Tyler.
"I've remarried this woman."
He proudly announced this with sparkling eyes. Remarried just 3 days after our divorce? It must have overlapped with our marriage. His nerve to come and boast about it was infuriating. I thought maybe he was having another one of his episodes. I tried to show my disgust, but Tyler, absorbed in his story, didn't seem to notice and started talking about his new wife unasked.
"Look at her. She is incredibly beautiful. Kind, gentle, and her father's a company president. She comes from a distinguished family. The best wife ever," he bragged. I didn't care about Tyler's new partner, but since she had the nerve to come, I was curious about her. When I looked at her, she slightly raised her hat and our eyes met perfectly. I was surprised to recognize her face and froze for a moment. Her face turned pale as she saw me. I couldn't help but burst into laughter. "Stop it! This is too funny." "What are you laughing at?"
"Because I know her well, that's why." "The easy mark you mentioned was about Tyler, wasn't it?" Tyler naively said,
"Easy mark? What? You two know each other? It's a small world, huh?"
He seemed impressed, but the woman, Nicole, tried to flee the scene.
"Hey, Tyler, I'm feeling sick. Can we go home soon?"
She seemed desperate to leave, but Tyler stopped her.
"Nicole, what's wrong all of a sudden? I didn't know you knew Eileen,"
he said, smiling foolishly. Nicole was shaking Tyler's arm, saying,
"Let's just stop, okay? Let's go home."
But Tyler showed no signs of leaving.
"How do you two know each other?"
he asked. So I explained. Nicole was a former colleague from my company. We had worked together for about 7 years. As I explained my relationship with Nicole, she seemed extremely agitated. Tyler, oblivious to Nicole's distress, continued praising her as the perfect woman. He described Nicole as a 29-year-old beauty, a graduate of a prestigious university, calmer and kinder than me, a great cook, and an ideal wife from a distinguished family. Tyler spitefully said,
"I'm glad I divorced you. Looks like I'm the only one who ended up happy. I'm sorry about that."
"Wow, she sounds wonderful." I feigned interest, but I couldn't stop grinning. Tyler became irritated, seeing that I wasn't crying or showing any signs of jealousy.
"What's so funny? Shouldn't you be more upset? Crying and wailing? Or is it that you're speechless because my new wife is too perfect?"
Ah, now I see. I realized Tyler came to show off his new wife just to see my frustrated face. But I felt neither envy nor frustration. I had no feelings left for my ex-husband, and whom he remarried didn't matter to me. It was just amusing that his new wife was Nicole. Seeing Nicole turning pale, I decided it was time to reveal her true identity to Tyler. Sorry. I was just surprised you married Nicole.
Nicole is famous for being beautiful and high spec at the company, right? No wonder you're surprised that such a perfect woman married me. Haha.
Yes, Nicole was famous, indeed. Nicole glared at me, silently begging me not to say anything more. Nicole, you said you were having an affair with a married man before you left the company, and it turns out it was Tyler. What a surprise.
Nicole, that's not good, spreading rumors about an affair.
Tyler was momentarily confused when his pre-divorce affair was mentioned, but soon became defiant. He probably thought he couldn't be sued for compensation anymore since we were already divorced. Seeing Tyler so enamored with Nicole, I decided to tell him more about her. Nicole climbed the ladder quickly at the company because of her relationship with the president.
Hey, stop!
When was it? During lunch, you loudly said that men are just wallets, easy to hook with your body. It's so easy, you said.
What?
Eventually, you used your body for promotions and money, right? The employees called you whore. That's how famous you were.
That's a lie. You must be mistaken.
Oh, and then you messed up by getting involved with the president. His wife found out and demanded a huge payment for the damage, and you were fired by the wife's decision, weren't you?
Stop it! Don't lie. It's not true, Tyler. She just likes to lie. She's probably jealous because we're a good match.
Nicole desperately tried to convince Tyler. Then, how about this? Is this a lie too? I showed them a video on my phone of Nicole drunk at a company karaoke party.
Men are just wallets. Just wallets. Buy some ready meals, put them on a plate, and they praise you for being a good cook. Just take off a little and they pay up. Now I can pay off my debts.
Wait, Nicole, the meals you cooked, were they all ready meals? And what's this about debts?
Yes, Nicole had a substantial debt. She had to pay a lot because of her numerous affairs with married men. A panicked Tyler asked Nicole for an explanation, but she just fell silent. Oh, and Nicole isn't 29. She's 2 years younger than me, so 38. Nicole had lied about her age. She looked somewhat younger due to the money she got from men, which she spent on Botox and cosmetic surgery, but claiming to be 29 was too much. I couldn't help but laugh at Tyler's lack of judgment in women. And she's not a president's daughter either. Her father works in a factory.
So that's why she was so adamant about not meeting her family. It's all lies. Nicole, is there even a single truth in what you've told me?
Tyler's face turned a boiling shade of red as he unleashed his anger on Nicole.
I'm sorry.
It was astonishing how she piled up so many lies, and Tyler for not realizing any of them. Well, that's him. He judged based on looks alone, without seeing the real person inside. That's the kind of man he is. Tyler, who thought Nicole was perfect, was in shock to discover she was all lies. I learned that Nicole and Tyler met at a singles bar about 6 months ago. She had been telling people she found an easy mark in a married man. It turns out Tyler bragged to Nicole.
I work at a major company and earn a good salary.
Hearing this, Nicole targeted Tyler, thinking she could pay off her debts with his money. Despite knowing he was married, she decided to marry him once he was divorced, securing a comfortable life. Tyler was ready to leave his cherished daughter for Nicole, thinking he could have another child with his young bride. As Tyler glared at Nicole, he screamed.
I can't believe this. It's impossible with so many lies.
His hypocrisy was astounding. But it wasn't just Nicole who had lied. Tyler, you don't work at that major company, and your salary isn't high, is it? You earn less than I do.
That's...
Tyler couldn't hide his agitation. Knowing the truth, Nicole flew into a rage.
What? I married you thinking you were rich. What a terrible mistake.
She shoved him hard.
Ouch.
Seeing the drastically changed Nicole, Tyler was stunned. He loved the young, beautiful, skillful cook and presumed heiress Nicole, and she loved the wealthy Tyler. With all the lies exposed, their relationship crumbled. It made me sick to think I married such a low man, but at the same time, I was glad to be divorced from him. They were a perfect match of liars. I told them I'd claim compensation and went to enter my house. Tyler blurted out,
You can't claim compensation. We're already divorced.
Well, you can claim compensation for infidelity within 3 years of discovering it. You should research it yourself. Thanks for cluing me in on your infidelity, though. Otherwise, I might have never known. Hearing this, their faces went pale. I'll communicate further through my lawyer. I finally entered my house. Later, I heard they were taken to the station for causing a disturbance. Thanks to my lawyer, I managed to get compensation from them. They had to take out loans to pay it in full. It was satisfying to cut ties with such despicable people. I heard from a colleague that Tyler filed for divorce from Nicole, using a loan for the legal fees. He must be in debt hell now. Tyler and Nicole were both in debt and probably embroiled in a messy court battle. As for me, I pledged to find happiness for my daughter's